once again, get sad towards the end of the week. Our final episode here on YouTube with Leading Our Own Way, Mr. Trav Bell, the bucket list man, the bucket list guy, the author of My Bucket List Blueprint. Get it. It's all in the show notes if you want to go and buy it. If you're interested, it's there. It's a must. His mission, however, we discover how he's taking his mission, global as a digital nomad. He's left Australia now. He's moved. He's living remotely and just doing his job, but very jealous. From daily habits to mental health practices, Trav shares the practical tools that have helped thousands transform their lives while living out his own bucket list adventures. Incredible. Anyway, here's the final part with Trav Bell. Sad. Anyway, hopefully I'll get him back on the podcast soon because he was incredible, and I'm sure there's more we can go through. Anyway, please subscribe to the channel. Please go and follow on all other platforms where possible, and enjoy here the bucket list man, the bucket list guy, Trav Bell. Have a great weekend, everybody. Don't forget to keep leading your own way. Come back next week for another amazing guest, but for now, finish this one off. Enjoy. If you've missed, by the way, go back to 1 to 4. It's in the playlist. Enjoy. The word pivotal is, when I heard you say that, was pivotal for me too. I've not had that moment personally.
Not that it's vanilla for me now, but I've had probably five to six of those sort of pivotal, like cementing moments. It's like, yes, I'm meant to do this.
Yeah.
Moments. I've had DMs from people on Suicide Watch. I've had people who've gone through all sorts of different shit, and I was just right place, right time, where they heard my stuff. And sure, they've probably done a bunch of different things around the same time, but it was like, and then that was really pivotal for them to then shift gears into a more positive. I contribute to this program since COVID. I've been doing it called the Heal the Heroes program over in the States, and they take vets and vets out of the US military. Some of them are really fucked up on PTSD, missing limbs, the whole bit. My mate Jeremy, he's a Green Beret, runs aerial recovery over there. And they're really big in fighting the anti-child trafficking movement over there, and people smuggling and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so what they do, they get all these guys and girls out of the military. They heal them through these Heal the Heroes program, and then they deploy them through this aerial recovery, and they go and do these missions all around the world, and also natural disasters. Amazing fucking organisation. So Jeremy saw me speak in Dallas, and then he asked me to contribute. I charge quite a bit for what I do, and I do this free of charge. And I've been doing it for 3 and a bit years, and these soldiers have been through all sorts of hell, some worse than others. They are, my stuff resonated with them. And Jeremy's come back to me after the first couple of times. He's gone, mate, look, these guys love what you're doing. They're just giving them so many tools, so many things to go on with, and you're saving lives, mate. And I'm just, ugh.
Yeah,
mate, sign me up. I've been doing it ever since. Do it I do it 4 times a year for them.
Love it. No, it's beautiful.
And so when your stuff resonates at that kind of level, it's stupid not to lean into it even more.
Yeah.
That's my purpose. That's the purpose. That's
Absolutely.
the mission. That's the purpose. That's my why. It's the reason I get out of bed in the morning, the reason I do everything. Simple.
I love it. It's inspirational, and that word pivotal is what I felt when I heard you say that. My connection story to that is I've had a few guests come to me and text me after they filmed it because they were doubting themselves doing it with me. And once we've filmed and we've got it out there, and they've said it was one of the most therapeutic things they'd ever done. And of 2 guests, they've said that I saved their life, which made me really upset and made me realize that the podcast has purpose outside of me. It's very purposeful for me as an individual, but to hear those 2 guests say that them doing it with me, meaning they opened up, but they felt safe to do so. One of them I haven't published yet, but one I published a while ago, and it was just.
I say this to all the other speakers and, communicated messengers out there that have got, that turn their hand into speaking or being, putting out a book or coaching program, whatever. All you got to do is go out and build that evidence, that social proof, and that gets rid of the imposter syndrome. The person on the other side that's saying, "Oh, who do you think you are? Why do you, the world doesn't give a shit about you. Why would they listen to you? You're not anyone." Da, 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 da. We've all got it. That's our fear response. All I say,
do you still get it?
Go out and get it. Hey,
do you still get it?
Yeah. You put yourself, but that's that. When I get it, that is actually the indicator. That is the signpost that I should do it. That's the clearest message of why I should do something. If there's fear, that is the sign that you need to lean into the opposite. And it's as simple as that. So you got to go out and take first steps and go get that social proof, go and get that evidence, because a coach said this to me once: go out and share your message, and as fearful as you might be, if you go and do it enough to the right people, and that before you know it, that noise of appreciation, not necessarily the pats on the back or the, but just the amount of people that you're helping, the noise of that will drown out the other voice inside your head, and no truer word has been spoken, mate.
Yeah. Was there a period of time before this blew up for you where you
1,000%.
got this? Because I'm going through that now. Like, I don't really
thinks,
get.
he landed on the stage. I'll say, there's a whole other podcast about the shit gigs. How I was laughed out of the room, mate. How I was heckled. How I was everything.
Before your TED Talk or after your TED Talk?
Before.
Was it the TED Talk that changed everything for you, or was it already changed before that?
No, it's all like a footy game. It's all 1%ers.
Oh, interesting. I thought it would be the TED Talk that changed it. So I suppose, because I feel like I'm going through that stage now where I'll get a compliment, and it puts me right back on the perch, if you know what I mean. But before I get that comment, I'm doubting myself. Weeks might then go by, and I'm starting to doubt myself. I'm going, should I just like it and lump it and go back to why I came to Australia? I'm like, that scares the living daylights out of me.
That's a whole unpacking life coaching session around imposter syndrome right there. There's lots. I could go on and on and on about that. Yeah. That's what I do. The bulk of my coaching around is imposter syndrome.
Interesting. I haven't got the money to pay you on that one, I'm afraid. Thousands of dollars. I'll have to get about 100 of my friends.
I haven't quoted a price, so we can talk.
I'm only joking. All right. So you mentioned, I really want the viewers to see that transitional period of coming out of that darkness into the change, that transitional, that messy middle, that pivotal moment. You mentioned earlier about that depressive stage. Before we get into that, the positive psychology, the depression that you went through, what type of things did you experience through your depression? What darkness did you feel every morning?
No,
or every day, sorry.
Albeit mild. When I say depression, I argue whether it was even depression compared. I was diagnosed, but yeah, I'd argue compared to what I've heard since. I feel weird even saying of putting myself in that basket, because
me too, man.
Other people have had it so much worse than me. I wasn't suicidal. Could never do that. But our own perception is our own reality.
Yeah. No ranking on trauma.
No, there isn't. And so, yeah, not wanting to just every the world's against you. Not wanting to get out of bed in the morning, sleeping all day, not wanting to exercise, not wanting to do really anything, not wanting to communicate with the world, not returning emails. Oh my God, if I got a phone call, just want to hide. And the interesting thing, I went through some Beyond Blue stuff, which is a national depression initiative here in Australia, and they've got a flyer and it's like, you are depressed if you have the following symptoms. And I went through all these symptoms. I'm like, tick, 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 tick. Yep. I got to the last one. It said, have you smiled? It said, literally, have you smiled in the last 2 weeks? Like, fuck, I smiled yesterday. Damn it. I was competitive with that.
That's
And
hilarious.
like, damn it, I think I smiled yesterday. And I don't know, but it's our own perception as our own reality, like I said before. And it was, really how it affected everything else in my life. And but again, I argue whether it maybe not full on enough to talk about it. I don't really harp on about it, but it was pretty bad for me. That's for sure.
Well, one of my previous guests.
I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert by nature. But I'm a paid extrovert.
Yeah. Oh, we can see that. That's for sure. And I advise everyone to go and check you out because it's brilliant. But one of my previous guests, to touch on a comment you just made, one of my previous guests mentioned about he was doing a speech and he asked about the difference between sadness and depression to some high school kids or primary. I can't remember their age. And the child turned around and said, "Well, sadness, because he believes, or the case is that nobody knows the difference, even as adults know the difference. But this child turned around and articulated it beautifully. Sadness, you know why you're sad. Depression, you don't." And I thought,
That's correct.
Wow, yeah. That was, you know what I mean? So the fact that you don't know
both of those worlds. Yeah.
Exactly. So maybe you were depressed, you just don't know it.
I could pinpoint exactly when I knew what was going on, and then like, what the hell's happening to me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought I was out of this, but why am I? Yeah, for sure. It's a really good way to do it.
Do you think the people around you knew you were depressed, or knew something was different about Trav?
Well, some did, yeah, for sure. Some did, but I masked it pretty well.
Well, most people do, don't they? I think I'm an energetic guy. I'm always smiling. I'm always putting a show on for people, or just hello, how you doing today? And I think the way I hid it when I used to cry and I didn't know why I was crying, I would always cry in the shower because no one could hear me in the shower. And then you could blame the eyes on the hot water. Like you, I didn't really have suicidal thoughts in the sense of I was going to do it, but the thought of suicide entered my head, if that makes sense. It makes sense in my head.
Yeah,
but
what? How bad does this have to get for me to think like that seriously?
Yeah. I went and sat at the car in Torquay, crying in the car one night, and I was supposed to meet a friend, and he cancelled because I needed to talk to him. He cancelled. He doesn't know this, and he won't know he won't remember this, so it's okay if he listens. But I went and sat in the car in Torquay, just drove down to the beach there, and just sat in the car facing Fisherman's Beach, and I just cried.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
Yep. More than one occasion.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so was your depression coming from what you mentioned before regarding the businesses, or was it more personal at home, or you just don't know?
Pretty much everything.
Oh, everything. Okay.
Yeah, but well, the thing is, everything became it's you against the world. Everything you think the world's downward spiral. So everything means everything that's happening in your life that's not so positive. You just throw it all into the one basket, I reckon.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I agree. And you feel, for those who are experiencing, who might be listening, you do feel like you're the only person going through it, and that nobody else is going through that.
The world's against you, right? You think that everyone's against you, and the world's against you, it's pretty hard to tactfully get yourself out of it. But most people do.
So let's go into positive psychology then. How long have you got, just so I know?
I've got to go.
Oh, you've got to go now, right this second?
Well, not right now, but I better eat before I go to the dentist.
Okay, give me a timeline then, so I can finish off. How long do you reckon? 5? Okay, cool. So briefly then, how did you you said it was a period of time of 2 or 3 years, but how did you bring that positive psychology into your play to change the trajectory of your life?
A bit of a researcher, not afraid to talk to other people.
Yeah.
I guess I knew that I saw therapists. I had clients who were psychologists. And I didn't want to go on drugs and didn't want to mask it. I wanted to, instead of putting a band-aid over the top of it and dealing with the effect, I wanted to get to the root cause.
Yeah, you mentioned
And I thought if I don't get to the root cause now and re-educate myself about what's going on and get to the really root cause, then I'm going to carry it around like luggage for the rest of my life. So I just did really a self-experiment.
Yeah.
And then just learnt a lot about psychology, which has helped me become a way better speaker and coach. And, I can look at, you know, you know, 25 to 30% of the audiences that I speak in front of, and this is your general population, have gone through mental health stuff. So as soon as I open my mouth about it from stage, it's normally always the alpha males in the room that corner you, and I've got tears in their eyes and going, yeah, senior leaders, etc., who are like, thanks for going there. I'm going through some shit at the moment. And can I connect with you? Like, yep, cool, man, I got you. And it's once you open the door and explain some stuff, and you don't get up there for therapeutic reasons or, confessional or anything like that. You've still got to keynote speaking in particular is about edutainment, not just, warts and all, here's my story. And, I feel better. Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you got to have, you got to deliver, even more so these days, you got to deliver a truckload of good take home material, not just be a hero story with nothing for them to take home. You don't affect lives that way. So, but yeah, for me, I just got heavily involved in learning about myself, and I've never stopped. Simple.
Yeah, good. I know I align with you so much. I had to learn so much about myself.
But also because I've started doing this and coaching and stuff, and people ask me to be their coach, I had an avenue to actually teach it. And I think if you're going to read a book, you got to have an intention for why you're reading it in the first place. Or if you're going to go to a seminar, have an intention for why. So I always had an outlet of how I can teach it. So I've always been educated not by trade like you, but certainly in my own way. I've always had avenues or channels that I can pay this stuff forward. And I think I'm pretty good. I think I'm pretty good at getting a lot of information, decipher, like whittling it all down to make it really user friendly for people to deploy or map into their own life. And I like to simplify complex and just so more people, because more people, I think personal development, in particular positive psychology, is an antidote for mental health. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't engage because don't even get me started on big pharma giving people pills, but unfortunately they're the avenues that we're sold, and the avenues of learning about the root causes, which is what I dig into a lot with people. They're not discussed, and especially in guys, because they've got this thing called ego in the way. So, people aren't asking for help as much as they should, aren't dropping the ego and reaching out to their mates, aren't letting people know where they're at. So if this podcast doesn't do anything, please, and if you're in that space and you're thinking about this right now, just drop the fucking ego. Drop the ego and reach out to help, reach out to both of us. Cool, we got you. And reach out to other people. But more importantly, if you've been through it and you've learned some lessons, it's time to go and pay it forward. Time to go and identify that. Don't be a kitchen psychologist and go out there and diagnose everyone, but certainly look for those signs, and then just helping other people is, and that's part of my bucket list philosophy too. Helping other people is where it's at. That's completely therapeutic.
Yeah, and that's why this podcast exists. in my eyes for those exact reasons. And you've answered one of my 3 final questions there, and that was if anyone was going through something very similar to our journey or their own individual journey, what piece of advice could you give them? And that was beautiful, and you've answered that absolutely. But going back to the pharma, the tablets type side of things, Prozac, since Prozac was invented, I think depression's gone up by, I don't quote me on this, I read it, so I'm going off of their information, but 400%. And I'm thinking, well, when did they think it was going to kick in? Do you know what I mean? Right. Anyway, that's a whole different discussion again. All right, finishing it off then. You've already answered one of them, and you did it really well, but I've forgotten how you mentioned it. But before I ask that, your future plans. I always like the viewers to hear the guest future plans, to see the direction that they're going in. I know your future plans, but it's exciting. Tell us quickly what your future plans are.
We've got a bit of an empty nesting going on at the moment with the kids. So, I'm going to basically live my bucket list full time. In about a month, I'm moving to Bali. Well, that's the first stop anyway. I'm just going to be a full digital nomad.
Love it. Have you got an idea of how long you'll be in Bali before the next spot?
No.
Wow.
No agenda. So I get shipped. Obviously, you get flown around the world for speaking gigs. I work online with what I do, all by design.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing comes as a, how did I get here? No, I've been manufacturing the shit out of it.
I'm doing that right now.
Yeah. Been a long time coming. But, there's an opportunity. I've still got the health, still got a lot of, countries I want to tick off. I've never lived in another country before. So that's actually, a fear of mine, believe it or not.
Wow. You can do it. If I can do it, you can definitely do it.
Well, there you go. So, but no, I've just got the philosophy that there's all these really cool co-working hubs around the world, friendly for digital nomads. And so, I've been invited to, as I said, speak all around the world. So I sort of hang out in there and just, I'll basically just stay in a place until I get sick of it.
Some businesses that pay for your flights might save on some cash because you'll be closer to them.
They will. The American companies, instead of flying, business from Australia and back, pick up the tab from Costa Rica.
Oh, God, I'm jealous. So jealous. Final question, Trav. You've mentioned it earlier, but your purpose, if you could put it into one single line for us, go for it. What would it be?
I help non-bucket listers become bucket listers.
God, I love that. That's good. And as you bring that up, I love you in your front of your picture of all your bucket lists. You love this one, don't lie.
That just happened.
Love it. Trav, thank you so much for joining me on Leading Our Own Way. You're definitely leading your own way, and I will have hopefully helped just one person. Oh, I did actually want to share my favourite picture very, very quickly. The one in the tux. I think people should see that, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that on the website when I publish your episode. So I
don't know why I did that.
No, I don't. I was going to ask why you did that. But whatever the reason is, it's a bloody good one.
Different. Yeah, I've got a shitload of business cards done with that on it.
Oh, great. Oh, mate, that's your personality summed up.
Different. It's my version of a corporate suit.
It is. I love it. Well, you know what? You keep being you. Keep doing what you're doing. I just love that you're real. And that word authentic gets thrown around a lot, but it's so true. Thanks for joining me on my podcast, mate. It's been such a pleasure. And
no worries. Cheers, Andrew.
Take care. Have a great day, everybody. And everybody else, come back next week for another amazing guest from Trav and I. Speak to you soon.
Thanks, mate.
Bye. Thanks for listening and watching Leading Our Own Way. So we can stay together forever and share more incredible journeys, please subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss next week's episode and what that amazing guest has to offer to the world. Please support Leading Our Own Way, and we'll get you on next week's episode.